action. While these killings and kidnappings continue relentlessly, the APC-led government is behaving as if all is well. The government is preoccupied with election matters and politics of self-succession. The essence of democracy is to provide the people with a choice. When one government fails, like this government has woefully done, the constitution of our land grants the people the power to vote the government out. However, with what we have witnessed in recent times, the ruling party has done everything to deny the people of Nigeria this very right to seek an alternative. In the last 3 years, this government has launched major attacks on the opposition parties. In the last 3 years, this government has launched major attacks on the opposition parties, all in a bid to deny the people the right to choose. They want to foist a one-party state on Nigeria. Institutions that should safeguard our freedom and protect the will of the people are increasingly under assault. The right of citizens to freely choose their leaders is being undermined. The independence of democratic institutions is being compromised. In fact, it is becoming increasingly difficult to describe what we have today as a fully functioning democracy in both form and substance. The task before us is nothing short of a national rescue mission. It is a mission born out of necessity, compelled by the suffering of our people, and driven by the urgency of the moment. I must emphasize, therefore, that this responsibility is far more important than partisan sentiment, personal interest, or personal ambition. What is at stake is greater than every single one of us. It involves sacrifice by every member in the opposition. I have no doubt in my mind that no single opposition political party, no matter how strong, can confront a system so entrenched and so determined to retain power at all costs. What we are faced with is a regime that has shown, in both words and in deeds, a willingness to weaken democratic structures and suppress opposition voices. Let's not make a mistake about this. The move towards a one-party state is rare. It has never happened before in this country, and it will not happen in our generation. The government has argued that it's not their duty to help build the opposition. Yes, they are right. Nobody has asked them for that favor. They call what they are doing to opposition political parties strategy. I call it tyranny. But is it their duty to destroy the opposition, as they have brazenly attempted to do? Can one do what they have been doing and still claim to believe in democracy or to be a Democrat? The answer is certainly no. We must not be in doubt. The forces that have sought to destabilize our various political parties will not stop. Even as we gather here, they are already scheming how to further undermine us and divide our ranks and sow seeds of discord among us. But we on our part must remember where the rain began to beat us. We must remember how we got to where we are today. We must remember what has brought us here. We must remain clear that we cannot confront the future as fragmented entities. We must be united to be able to salvage our nation. It is for these reasons that this gathering and our dealings must be anchored on honesty and integrity. We must put all our cards face up on the table and speak truthfully to one another. There must be no hidden agendas, no last-minute surprises, and no room for distrust. Perhaps more than anything else, the success of our collective effort depends on our ability to build and sustain trust. We are racing against time and operating within a limited window. The urgency of our situation does not permit repeated mistakes. We must be willing to rise above narrow sentiments and reject parochial attitude that has historically divided the oppositions in this country. This is the time to rewrite the story of coalition building in Nigeria. The record of the APC government is one of complete failure. What remains in its wake is an aggressive reliance on propaganda and a sustained assault on opposition voices. However, we will not engage in a contest of propaganda with them. We will not substitute truth for noise. Their reliance on propaganda only exposes a deeper problem, an inability to accept responsibility. Nigeria is watching, and Nigerians are watching. They have been through the smokescreen and the lies. They recognize a government that has failed to meet their expectations and shown no empathy for their sufferings. This is why, as we have repeatedly maintained, the struggle before us is no longer a conventional political contest. This contest is between the ruling party, APC, and the Nigerian people. APC is contesting against the mother who has just buried her child. APC is contesting against the father who works endlessly, yet cannot feed his family. APC is contesting against the young graduate who sees no future and against the pensioner who has been abandoned after decades of service to the nation. We are on the side of the people, and therefore, the Almighty God is also on our side. Recent changes within the economic management team are themselves a tacit admission of failure. When a system is functioning effectively, you do not replace leadership. Rejigging the cabinet at this late hour cannot save them from the verdict of the people. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, let me use this opportunity to emphasize once again that the credibility of our democracy rests with the neutrality and integrity of its electoral institutions. When the referee clearly and proudly wears the jersey of the other teams in a match he should be officiating, then the legitimacy of the entire process is undermined. In this instance, Nigerians have lost confidence in the electoral body called INEC. INEC is no longer an impartial umpire, and if nothing changes, Professor Ojo Amopitan is about to preside over the most distrusted election in the Nigerian history. The consequences are better left to imagination. Leaders of our great parties, let it be said loud and clear that at a defining moment in our history, when Nigeria stood at the edge of uncertainty, we did not falter. We did not allow personal ambition to override the desire of Nigerians for a better life. We did not collapse under the temptation of petty partisanship or self-satisfying ambitions. Instead, we chose unity over division. We chose sacrifice over self, and we chose country above all. Let this summit go down in history as the moment when everything changed. Let this be the beginning of a decisive movement, a movement that will restore dignity of our democracy, secure the lives of our people, and rebuild the foundations of our nation. I am very confident that if we stand together with conviction, discipline, and sincerity, no force will be strong enough to stop the will of the Nigerian people. May history remember us for our courage. History remember us for our sacrifice, and remember us for our resolve to save our democracy and our country. May it record that when Nigeria called, we answered with unwavering commitment, and when our people needed us, we did not falter, and we did not fail them. Thank you, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
A round of applause for His Excellency Distinguished Senator David Mark. I'm sure he deserves a better round of applause, please. In his speech, he reminded us of the disposition of Barack Obama when he said, in every generation there is a defining moment. And he has reminded us that this is our defining moment. If you agree, say, oh yeah. This is that defining moment. Again, people write history,